2024 for me was not only about being a catalyst for the new journey that I'm going on. It's not just about all of the changes that are happening that have been obvious if you guys have been following me on my other social media, but there was something that I needed to find in 2024, and that something was myself.
Real hot girl shit. Yeah, I'm in my bag, but I'm in his too. And that's why every time you see me, I got some new shoes. Ay.
I pulled a spread for myself this morning, and I asked the question, what was the purpose of 2024 for me? And I don't remember all of the cards that came out. I probably should have wrote it down. But I do remember that the world in reverse was very prominent. The Fool came out, the Five of Cups came out, and the Tower came out. Those are the cards that I remember. Which checks, because if you're not familiar with tarot, the world in the reverse position speaks to a feeling of like incompleteness, feeling like you have done all of these things and you're coming to the end of an era, you're coming to the end of a cycle, but there's still something that is missing. And I remember as I was looking at that spread being like, yo, yes, all of that, because 2024 for me was not only about being a catalyst for the new journey that I'm going on. It's not just about all of the changes that are happening that have been obvious if you guys have been following me on my other social media, but there was something that I needed to find in 2024, and that something was myself. So, if you are interested and want to get in my business a little bit, or if you are somebody who struggled yourself in 2024, you just want somebody that you can relate to that understands your plight. Okay, stick around because we're going to talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am Mecca. Y'all, this is completely off the top of the dome, completely unplanned. I had no plans on filming a video today, but I wanted to go ahead and get my year end wrap up out the way because I literally want to be ducked off for the rest of this year. So, before I even get started, please know that yes, I am well aware that I was supposed to be participating in Vlogmas. It ain't happening, okay? I am actually, this is probably going to be the last video that I upload for 2024 because, like I said, I want to duck off. And honestly, like, that is partly emotional slash spiritual, but also partly because I want to go ahead and get ahead of the curve for 2025. So I have been filming a lot of 2025 content. So for at least the first 2 months of the year, I can just post and go. I don't have to worry about filming. I don't have to worry about editing. I don't have to worry about none of that. Okay. All of that being said, I have been for weeks thinking about 2024 and how much of an impact 2024 had on me as a person, as a spiritualist, as a writer, as a space holder, all of the things, right? And one thing that I realized, and I kind of mentioned it before in the beginning clip, is that 2024 is a catalyst for me, and it was needed. It was so needed, and as bad as I want to be mad about it, as bad as I want to shake my little fists at 2024, I see what you did there, girl. I see what you did there. Because I know a lot of us say things like, the person that I was at the beginning of this year is not who I am at the end. Quite literally that. Okay. I don't recognize this person. And for the first time in my life, I'm happy to be okay with it. And that has been the biggest theme that I think has been sticking out to me about 2024. It's okay to not know. There is no way in hell I could have ever thought that my 2024 was going to go like this. And I don't know what I had as far as like expectations for it. I know what I asked for, which I did not get, but I understand now why all of the things that occurred during this year, all the changes, all of the L's that I had to take, all of the relationships that had to be severed, all of the mindset shifts that I had to go through. I understand it. That doesn't make it feel good at all, but I understand it because for this next part of my journey, I'm going to have to be a different person. And if you are familiar with me and my divinations and things like that, you would know that one thing that I say all the time is that change is inevitable. And as it pertains to those of us who have, and most of us have, but those of us who have built this wall to shield ourselves, to protect ourselves, not to say that those things weren't necessary, right? But I feel like me in particular, I'm moving into a time where those things are no longer useful. That person that I constructed and built and held on to for so long, not to say that she's no longer useful, but she did what she needed to do. You feel me? Like she did what she needed to do and gave what it needed to give, and it's time for me to start to build who I am from a different place, from a different mindset. And I don't want to blame Pluto and Capricorn, okay, for the last 16 years of my life. But just to be quite honest, that's when a lot of it started around 2008 when I first graduated high school. And I was on my own. I had to fend for myself. My mother's addiction was at the peak, and I really had to grow up very, very quickly. Say I'm a Capricorn without saying I'm a Capricorn. All of those things being considered, I am so grateful that I made it through 2024 because I'm not gonna hold y'all. There were some times where I was like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know if this is gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to bounce back. But I always get to that point. I'm dramatic, okay? Like it always gets to a point for me of like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. Like, knowing damn well I'm not the type of person to give up. I'm not the type of person to fold. I'm not the type of person to just rest on my proverbial laurels. You feel me? Like, I was not raised that way. I was not raised to just lie down and take things. I wasn't raised to think outside of think. Yeah, I wasn't raised to think outside the box. I was raised to destroy it, right? And I feel like this year has prepped me for that. I feel like this year has been a year of initiation. We'll talk about that in another video. But this was definitely a year of initiation. It was a year of me being prepped for eldership, which is something that I have been running from a very long time. And I am finally at the spot where I feel like I have no other choice but to be accepting of that and understanding that this year was crucial for me to be able to carry out the things that I'm here to carry out, for me to be able to do the things that I've been sent here to do. And I just, this will be a year that I will always look back at as the catalyst. This is going to be the year that I'm always going to refer to as the year where Mecca became Mecca. Not who everybody wanted me to be, not who everybody perceives me to be. I feel like 2024 was the breaking down and the destruction of who I was for the first 34 years of my life. And I feel like 2025 is just going to be the combination of that. I feel like because I'm going into my 12 times perfection year this year, and if you don't know anything about astrology, shout out to my sis, Luminary Beauty. Okay, Madam Luminary. But, and I shouted her out because she's been working with me really, really closely. Um, in terms of giving me kind of a guidebook of sorts about how to navigate next year, which I'm greatly appreciative of. But I feel like 2024 was the destruction of who I was for the first 34 years of my life. And I feel like 2025 is going to be the combination of that. I feel like it's going to be a year where I start to settle into who I'm supposed to be, right? And where I feel like before 2024 that would have terrified me. It's kind of given like maybe this year, after surviving this year, nothing else really too much scares me anymore. And I never thought that I would get to that point. I never thought that I would get to the point where I would feel fearless and I would feel like I could take the world on. Not in an invincible kind of way because okay, but I've never felt so empowered. I've never felt so me. I've never felt more me. And I feel like I'm in a space where I'm settling into my body. So, if you had a hard 2024, understand that it was an 8 year and it did what it was supposed to do. And I'm not saying that to be insensitive or to invalidate your 2024 experience, but I want you to take a step back and before you, I don't want to use the word gripe or complain, but before you throw 2024 in the trash as a year that was just unnecessarily hard, I want you to stop and I want you to think about what lesson 2024 taught you, right? Because regardless of how we feel about how this year went, we came out of this hole with lessons, right? And I want to be one of them, but if you didn't come out of 2024 with a lesson, you did 2024 wrong. You did it so wrong. And I think that we all can agree that that's the blessing of it. That, yeah, we had a rough year. Yeah, things didn't pan out the way that we thought they were going to. But we're coming out of this year. We're coming out of Pluto in Capricorn. We're coming out of all of these things as new people. And the fun part of that is you now get to rebuild yourself as whoever you want to be. You get to build a new foundation that's built by your hands. And so that's what my 2025 is going to be. It's going to be rebuilding. It's going to be me continuing to close out cycles. It's going to be me continuing to figure out who this new Mecca is. This is going to be me having all of the time in the world to figure out who this new Mecca is. And for once, I feel really, really, really excited about it. I have so much planned for 2025, and I'm so excited to take y'all along on this journey with me because I am being very intentional about what I consume as far as content, how it influences the type of content that I make, making sure that the content that I make is coming from an authentic place. So, I hope you guys stick around for that. Like I said, this is going to be my last video of 2024. I'm going to be ducked off. I'll be around. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going on a complete social media break, but I'll be around. And I truly hope that you guys got what you needed to get out of 2024, and I hope it propels you forward in the ways that you need to be propelled. Also, I want to take the time out to really shout my community out. I really want to make sure that I give you guys your flowers because had it not been for my community this year, my God, on today, I wouldn't even be sitting here in this apartment talking to y'all. And I never want to, I'll say this, I don't want you guys to ever forget how much you mean to me. I don't want you guys to ever forget how much of an impact that you make on my life. And I know a lot of you come to me, you're like, Meg, you know, you've helped me so much and I get so much from you. And I'm glad that you do that, but I want y'all to understand how the sentiment is the same. And I really truly don't believe that had I not had my community in my corner, had I not had people reaching out to me and speaking words of affirmation and speaking just kindness and grace over my life, that I would still be here. at the end of this year to sit here and talk to y'all about it. And I'm so proud of the community that I've been building around myself, because for the first time in my life, it feels genuine. It feels like I found my people. It feels like these people were purposely put in my life in order to continue to help me carve out the next however many years I have left on this earth. And so I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful now for the things that I had to go through in terms of relationships and connections with people, and having to get to this point. And I'm proud of myself for being open to that, because there was a point in time at the end of last year where I wasn't. And so I could not end this video without saying thank you to each and every one of you who supports me in whatever way you support, whether that is you subscribing here on YouTube, whether that's you following me on TikTok, booking divinations with me, whatever it is that you do. I appreciate you so much, and I hope and pray that you have not only the 2025 that you deserve to have, but I hope, because of the fact that you took time out of your day to pour into me, that you get that back 100-fold in 2025. Okay, I love you guys so so much. I will talk to you guys later. Be great, get bread, stay all the way alive, and with everything being intentional, have the 2025 that you conjure. Peace.